Gonna lie, my work rate lately, it's kind of impressing me. I never really even thought I would ever actually stream on my own channel. I would just go on other people's, but there's just so much fucked shit being talked about. Hang on 2 seconds. I actually need to make sure that my mic is okay. Test this real quick. Hello. Hello. Okay, we're good. Um, Back to my original train of thought. My work rate is impressing me. My consistency of streaming, I think it's just because things are going so wrong. Things are so shitty. Being a Liverpool fan right now sucks so much, um, that you have to stream. Hello, Jason. How you doing? Hope you're well. Either way, as the title of the video says, why are we talking transfers? Why is it that everywhere I look right now, whether it be Liverpool Twitter or the biggest Liverpool accounts on YouTube, why are they all talking about transfers? I'm not talking about the transfers that we bought that we brought in over the summer. Why are they all talking about future transfers? It doesn't make any sense. It's October 17th. What why are we talking about January? Why are we talking about the summer? Why am I talking about release clauses? Why am I talking about Bundesliga players? Why am I talking about Premier League players that don't play for my club? Why am I talking about Julian Alvarez and the fact that we could have done a swap with Luis Diaz and that would somehow solve all of our problems? Why am I talking about any incoming? A month and a half after spending £500 million, you're telling me that one of the most dominant narratives in Liverpool and the Liverpool community is who do we sign next? So you're going to sign Milos Kerkez, Jeremy Frimpong, Hugo Ekitike, Alexander Isak, and Florian Wirtz. And a month later, and Giovanni Leone. A month later, you're immediately going to talk about who do you sign next. Like, does that not seem like absolute fucking insanity? Does that not seem like the dumbest possible logic that you could ever think of? I'm going to spend £500 million and I'm going to be so satisfied that 30 days later, I'm going to already think about how do I spend another 250. We're trying to hit the Chelsea £1 billion in a year, I guess. I guess in reality, what Liverpool fans want to do is Liverpool fans want to be Chelsea, right? Like we want to spend £1 billion. I guess maybe I'm just not a Liverpool fan. Maybe I just don't have the same mentality. Maybe I'm just not that interested in who's coming here next. Maybe I'm content with spending 500 million and I want to see something more than 3 losses in a row from that said 500 million. Maybe I'm crazy because I want to see the right back that we bought actually play. Maybe I'm crazy because I want to see our 10 actually occupy the space that a 10 occupies. Maybe I'm crazy that I want to see our 130 million pound striker get more than 4 touches in 30 minutes. Maybe I'm the one who's lost my mind. Have we gotten to the point where people have become too player obsessed? Hey, it's more than that, John. It's more than that. But listen, bro, when I go live, it's because I need to kill some time in between one task and another, which is why there is no set thing. That's why there's no banner, there's no fucking intro, none of this fancy stuff. It's literally just like whenever I have, 45 minutes to an hour and I just have thoughts on my mind. Like this morning, big up to Anfield Agenda. I got nothing against Craig, but I see this video and it's titled Nico Williams to join Liverpool. I'm sorry. Who the fuck cares about Nico Williams? Dead ass. Bro, we're on the back of 3 losses in a row. We haven't lost 4 games in a row since the 50s. And 2 days before Manchester United, you're going to do a stream about signing Nico Williams? Excuse me? Like, have you lost your fucking mind here? Are you tone deaf? Why do you care about Nico Williams? Who gives a shit about Nico Williams? It doesn't make any sense. Yes, I understand we're missing Luis Diaz. I get it. Arne Slot is playing Cody Gakpo like he's a 1v1 merchant and he can isolate himself and win duels consistently. He can't, but that's hindsight's 2020. And Luis Diaz wanted to leave. The club was not expecting Luis Diaz to want to leave. He did want to leave. He left. It left us a little bit shorthanded, but it's not a fucking excuse. Because you should be able to adapt to the fact that Luis Diaz isn't here anymore. But no. Rather than looking at Arne Slot and saying, how come you haven't been able to cope with the loss of Luis Diaz? The logical solution within the Liverpool community is to say, let's go spend 120 million here. That'll solve our problems for sure. You know, if we bought Nico Williams, Arne Slot would figure it out. 100%. Totally agree. You're not a fucking idiot for having that opinion. Absolutely. Absolutely. Big up Shankly. Big up Benny. Big up Morris. Got those out of the way. Yeah, totally, dude. We should totally be talking about Nico Williams because Luis Diaz decided to go to Bayern Munich. Absolutely. That sounds perfectly logical and congruent. For sure. For sure. Giovanni Leone gets a tragic ACL tear. And I wish him the speediest of recoveries because he was exceptional in that Southampton game. He was the only defender who looked calm on the ball, and it was his debut. But we don't even want to talk about the fact that, listen, maybe we could have signed another center back for more depth and had 5 center backs at the club. But that's not even the conversation that people want to have. People want to have the conversation of, well, if we had Mark Gahey, a ball-playing center back, we wouldn't need to play Konate. And Konate's shit, apparently. Apparently, Konate sucks. Apparently, the guy who set up the potential game-winning goal in a World Cup final that Kolo Muani duffed, that guy sucks at playing the football. 100%. On the biggest stage of the world, in the final 30 seconds of a game, the guy you say sucks set up what should have been a World Cup winning goal. 100%. Yeah, you're right. Konate is the problem. If we had Mark Gahey, 100%, bro, we'd be cooking, dog. We wouldn't have lost those 3 games with that center back. You kidding me? Could you imagine how much slower our buildup could be if we had Mark Gahey? Holy fuck, we'd be cooking. People want to talk about Nico Schlotterbeck. Excuse me? You know what? I'm just going to pull it up. Liverpool see Borussia Dortmund center back Nico Schlotterbeck as a long-term replacement for Virgil van Dijk. I mean, what the fuck are we doing here? What are we doing? We're taking narratives that we place on Mark Gahey and we're just putting them on Nico Schlotterbeck. When I saw everything coming about with Mark Gahey over the summer, everyone kept going like, this is who Slot sees as Virgil's replacement, because Gahey plays on the left-hand side. Gahey's a leader. Gahey's young. Gahey's fantastic. 2 years from now, when he's 26, he'll take the reins from Virgil van Dijk. He'll be our captain. We're just going to take all the narratives that we set for Mark Gahey and let's just put it on this German. That's all I'm seeing. And people are like taking this seriously and they're really talking about Nico Schlotterbeck. Brother, you could get fucking Prime Maldini and stick him in this back line. We'll still look like fucking dick. There is no center back in the history of the game that you could place next to Virgil van Dijk, ask them to play the way we play, and have any sort of consistency. It isn't possible. It's not possible. Again, the key word here is consistency. Doesn't mean you can't get results week in, week out. but it means that the statistical probability of that happening has gone down. And ultimately, everything on the planet is a game of math, right? People like to call me a calculator. But that's because I think in numbers, because everything has a probability. Everything has some sort of statistic behind it, right? Based on my life and the amount of times I have used certain words, there is a statistical probability that I will use those same words when talking about certain things, which is why you hear me repeat the same phrases. The same thing goes for football. It's the same exact logic. Same logic. It doesn't matter who you put next to Virgil van Dijk right now. If you play this way, you're going to get fucked. It's that simple. You're inviting the danger. And all you're doing in that case is just adding another high-profile name to get absolutely slandered in the media. That's it. That's all you would be doing. If Mark Gahey were playing next to Virgil van Dijk, the narrative right now, because the results wouldn't have changed, the narrative right now would be Mark Gahey, Florian Wirtz, Isak, flops? Question mark? That would be the narrative. That's all you would be changing. We've talked about Nico Williams. We've talked about Nico Schlotterbeck. Let's talk about Nathan Semenyo. Oh, yeah. Guys, listen, everybody, there's no need to be on YouTube anymore. There's no need to talk because the guy from Bournemouth is the answer, right? Nathan Semenyo. I'm sorry. Antoine Semenyo. He's the key. He's the key. Last week, it was Michael Olise. This week, hold on. Last week, it was Michael Olise is going to be the new replacement for Mohamed Salah. He's going to save us, guys. He's going to save us. The Englishman, Michael Olise, the former Crystal Palace man. Crystal Palace, by the way, big up because that farm system is fucking incredible. But Crystal Palace, Michael Olise, he's going to save us. 100%. Yeah, he's the long-term solution. You know what Michael Olise does that Mohamed Salah doesn't? He tracks back and defends. You guys remember Mohamed Salah under Jurgen Klopp? You guys remember how much Mo Salah would drop back and defend? I do. 100% I do. I remember all the times Mohamed Salah would drop back all the way to our back line and help Trent. For sure. For sure. I definitely agree with him not doing that against Chelsea is directly related to him doing that for his whole career under Jurgen Klopp. For sure. For sure. It's, Sadio Mane was not considered the best defensive left winger in the league during his tenure under Klopp. It was Mo. Mo was the best defensive winger. So why isn't he doing defense against Chelsea? The revisionism is fucking crazy. People's memories are absurd. You're not understanding the point. Mo Salah never dropped back to help defend. He would only drop back to help build up. Now it's when we had Trent. So I'm not going to sit here and slight Mo for not tracking back. It's not his fucking job. It never has been. It never will be. It wasn't under Klopp and it wasn't now. Mo's only job when he's dropping back is to help and build up. That's it. We've already gone through the clip against Bilbao. We've seen he has more than capable of dropping to our own 18-yard box, helping build up, and entering the opposition half before the ball even leaves our own half. More than capable of doing that. It has never been about defense. The only defense that Salah has is his press. That's the same way it's been for 9 years. I'm not going to sit here and listen to this bullshit. Don't talk about his defensive work rate against Chelsea. It's fucking irrelevant. The reason why he was so terrible against Chelsea is, number one, he missed the chances that he had, which I think were like 3 or 4. And number two, he had Szoboszlai at right back who wasn't overlapping or underlapping, which meant that Mo was isolated, therefore not involved in the game. That simple. Michael Semenyo is the answer. Yes, you got it. Guys, this is like, you have to realize the solution is always another player. The solution to all your problems is always to buy another player. This is the world we live in now. When things aren't going right, you got to look to the transfer window that's upcoming. No matter what you spent in the prior, don't matter. Money's money. It is what it is. But the solution is always Who am I signing next? So Liverpool Twitter, Liverpool YouTube. The solution is to go out and sign Michael Olise, Semenyo, Schlotterbeck, Nico Williams, Mark Gahey. These are the names that will prevent us from losing 3 games in a row. These are the players that Liverpool must go get next, for sure. Okay, we're just going to dispel this right now. You've forced my hand. You've forced my hand. Give me 2 seconds, because now you're angering me. Now you're making me mad. We're going to just dispel this right now. Sheba, I mean no personal disrespect to you, but brother, what the fuck what are you talking about? Let's dispel this. This is the starting 11 versus a starting 11 in a preseason game. You're saying Mo can't build up. Okay, Salah's build up is also ass in my opinion. He makes some beautiful final balls, but his general passing and first touch is not good enough. Mike, I love your channel. Please do not hate me for my opinion. I don't hate you, Sheba. I never would hate you personally. But when you say something, I'm going to argue with you. And argumentation is not the same thing as me hating you. We're having a conversation. This is my end of the conversation. Check out the guy who sucks at build-up right here. Look at him. Let's watch how terrible Mohamed Salah is in build-up. Oh my God, look at that. Look at where he is. Oh my God. Wow. That was our own 18-yard box. He's not bad at build-up. This is a total myth. He's clearly just being instructed not to drop back that deep because Arne Slot wants to build up with 4. Arne Slot wants to do a 4-2-4. He wants 4 guys at the opposition 18-yard box at all times. He wants a hot dog down a hallway. He wants vagina ball. Nice and fucking wide and loose and spread open. It just doesn't work. The only loss of Trent Alexander-Arnold is the first time ball to Mo in those transition periods. But I'm not hearing this. Afraid Anfield will win us the game, but we'll continue with our horrific style of play. I don't disagree, but we have to stay on topic. The topic today is transfers. The topic today is the money we have to spend to fix the money that we already spent. I think one of my favorite phrases from this first spell of the season has been Liverpool needed their 115 million pound signing to unlock their 130 million pound signing. Whoever came up with that, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. We needed Florian Wirtz to unlock the Premier League proven Alexander Isak, and he isn't even unlocked yet because they're never on the fucking pitch together for more than 50 minutes. And our solution to why the 130 million pound signing is getting 4 touches in 30 minutes is to spend another 250 million. Right. For sure. I am in total agreement that what all Liverpool fans should be focusing on right now is how do we spend another 250 million pounds to make this team better? Yes. Premier League winning side that spent £500 million. I think the best thing we need to do is spend another 250. We get to 750, we're only 250 away from $1 billion. So we could spend 250 this January, and then we could spend 250 this summer, and then we could be $1 billion. Billionaires. $1 billion worth of players. That's the solution. I agree. Do we really want to see one of the best forwards ever dropping back into his own box? Well, you have to ask yourself, why does Florian Wirtz have to drop back into our own box against Galatasaray? And the answer is quite simple, because you're trying to break through a mid block of 4 with a midfield of 2. So you're leaving yourself at a numerical disadvantage, which forces Florian Wirtz to drop deeper than instructed in order to try to get himself involved in the game. Um, so it all comes down to structure. And as we know, we went through Chelsea, we looked at all of the different isolated images, and we saw that every time Florian Wirtz found himself in the middle of the park in the opposition half, he was outnumbered 3-1, if not 4-1. Do we need anything? I think the only logical thing that you could say we need is center back cover. Now, if we sign Mark Gahey, it's not because Mark Gahey is the solution to our problems. It's not because I need someone to replace Konate. It's because Leone went down with a season-ending injury, and I have 3 center backs. That's why. If it happens to be a player of Gahey's quality, all the better. But I don't think that that solves anything other than cover. There is the potential that he could be better than Konate, but I don't view that signing as just like a copy-paste amazingness. Like copy-paste win. No. I'm not saying we need more signings, but we need more blistering pace in our team. Again, I don't think so. In transition, we look perfectly fine. When our team is in transition, we create deadly chances. We just haven't been clinical enough, right? Every time I've talked about Liverpool and I've criticized, I've always made a point to stop myself and say very clearly, the one highlight of this season is our transition play. We don't have the clinical edge. But with time, I know that that will come. But I don't think that pace is the answer. I don't think that just buying fast players is going to solve anything because, again, the structure in sustained possession is the issue. And it's not only the root cause for all of our problems going forward, it's the root cause for all of our problems at the back. And adding pace to that doesn't change anything. All that means is that the guy who's at left wing just a little bit faster. That's it. Doesn't change the core issue at hand. That's not to say I wouldn't love faster players, but we're not even properly utilizing our pace in the team. I mean, you have Kirkes inverting rather than being a marauding, overlapping fullback. And when he does overlap, Cody ignores him. You don't even play Frimpong, even though he's the best the best right back at our club right now. And he has all the pace in the world. So I don't think pace is our issue. I think pace of play is our issue. But pace of play is not correlated to pace of a player. The pace at which you build up is not directly related to how fast a player can run. So slow, the build up is so slow. I would agree. Center back depth is important. But that's because we lost one to a season-ending injury. Can we transfer slot a lobotomy? I don't know if I'd go that far. I miss Darwin. Bob, I don't miss him. I love Darwin. I don't miss him. The man wasn't clinical enough. Good baller. Had his moments. Helped the team. Not clinical. What did we just say? We just said our transition is fantastic, but not clinical enough. I don't need to add someone who's also not clinical. Listen, he is a champion, and you can be shameless whenever you want, but I don't think we miss him. We need our fullback to go back to marauding, not inverted. Wirtz to play as a 10, not be another Selbo. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. It's not just marauding, but they need to be occupying the proper spaces in the opposition half. On Mo's side, that means you're overlapping and you're underlapping to help create one-on-ones because that's where Mo will thrive. On Gakpo's side, he needs to actually play the ball to Kirkes. I don't think Ekitike left wing is going to solve anything. Again, guys, we have to get it through our minds. There are no players and there is no formation switch or switching of starting 11s that will solve the problem. Get it out of your head. It's not going to happen. Putting Ekitike at left wing isn't going to do anything other than you just having the same complaints for Ekitike than you do that you do for Gakpo. It has to do with how we play, not who we play. It's how we're utilizing the players, not who we're utilizing. Fundamental difference. The flaw is the root cause, not the symptom. Cody Gakpo cutting in and shooting is a symptom of the fact that Cody Gakpo never has another fucking option because there's no one within 15 yards of him. If Cody Gakpo finds himself isolated at the left edge of the opposition 18-yard box and he cuts in and he's got one defender in between him and Ekitike, he's got 20 yards behind him where McAllister is, and he's got 3 defenders in between him and Mo, what is he supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? I'm not happy that Cody Gakpo cuts in and shoots every time, but I think that, he's limited on options of what he's capable of doing based on the structure of the team when we're pursuing a goal. Could an issue also be Mac not wanting to collect the ball deeper, leaving grab as lone receiver and build up? The issue is not either of them. The issue is that you have set up a structure in a 4-2-4. 4-2-4. So no matter what we've seen in the last 4 games is teams have figured out all you got to do is make sure that you have at least 3 covering the 2. Teams did this last season when they pressed us. When teams like Brighton or Southampton pressed us and made it very difficult for us to get the win, if you really analyze the game, they were never hounding the ball carrier at the back line. They were just cutting the lanes and making sure that they were outnumbering us in the midfield. So it was 4-on-2 or it was 3-on-2 because they knew there was always a separation between our midfield and the front line, and the front line liked to stay in a straight line with essentially cement blocks for feet. They don't move. So McAllister has not been sharp, 100%. But at the same time, him and Gravenberch are sort of being asked to do the impossible consistently. They're being asked to receive the ball, beat 2 guys, and play a 30-yard pass. Not sustainable. Ekitike Isak Salah for Sunday. Listen, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. You're right. Listen, Gakpo looks off Kirkes all the time, and Frimpong just doesn't get enough games, and Szoboszlai doesn't overlap or underlap. No. If anything, Chiesa left wing. We've lost Diaz, who Slot trusted more than Gakpo. Yes, we did. But I also don't think Luis Diaz being here would solve our issue. That's the fundamental difference. I understand the loss of Luis Diaz, but at the same time, I don't think Luis Diaz being here would change a whole lot. I think you'd see like a 5% difference if I had to put a number on it. Because again, the root cause is the problem, not the symptom. He is as a footballer, but I don't want, probably my best goal threat right now in the 9 on the left wing with the way that we play. It doesn't do anything. Again, you're just all you're doing is swapping, right? You're moving the pieces, but the board remains the same. All you've done is just switch the position of different pieces. But the board is the same. It's the same board. You are making a cosmetic change to something that remains unchanged. Do you understand? It is not a solution. You're just switching the pieces, but you will get the same result. It's not about who's playing at left wing. It's about the way we utilize who's playing at the left wing. It's about the options that the left winger has in attacking positions. That's what it's about. It's not about Ekitike or Chiesa. I mean, yes, you can have the conversation of who's in form and who's not in form. And I'd rather see Chiesa there than Gakpo at the current moment. But it still doesn't change the fact that even if Chiesa plays there, which is what I want, I'm still not expecting a massive improvement because the root cause is still the problem. You are correct in the sense that it would change, but I'm saying that the change is inconsequential. It's two different points. You're saying he would be more effective. I'm saying that the effectiveness would be ineffective. It's like, imagine you got a 30% on a test and it was a fail. But then you changed the 30% to a 45%. Congratulations, you've made a 15% improvement. By the way, it's still a fucking F. That's like the best analogy that I could possibly put to this. While your sentiment is correct, the teacher is still failing you. So you tell me if that's an improvement. I would think that an improvement would be from going from an F to a C, and then from a C to a B, then from a B to an A. That's the only logical thing. I mean, the idea that you can go from an F to an A is, I mean, astonishing if you can do it. But is that the most likely outcome? No. Slot presser today, don't fill me with much hope. He stonewalled every meaty question. Not that many asked him any. I need to watch this. I need to watch this. Oh, yeah. Let me see something. Can I pull it up? Am I going to get copyrighted if I watch that with you guys? Like if we watch the presser, am I going to get like a copyright infringement for doing that? Someone let me know, because I'll happily do this and I'll happily dissect his answers. But you also got to remember, he's in PR speak. I don't expect Arne Slot to go there and say anything of real substantial substance. Doesn't want to give anything away, and some things should be left in the dressing room, like how fucking shit the team has been. I don't want him publicly coming out and saying, look how fucking dog shit we are. Bro, he ignores Kirkez all the time. It's old news. People see a player get a few goals and they ignore all their flaws. People ignore everything, brother. We talked about this yesterday. The football world, Twitter, Sky Sports, YouTube, they all love a top-down approach. They all love to look at the end result and ignore all the context. I prefer a bottom-up. Add the context, look at the result. There's two different ways of viewing the game. If Lionel Messi puts in a dog shit performance at Barcelona, is your first statement going to be Leo is washed? Or is your first statement going to be, why did Leo look washed? Two very different perspectives on the same idea. Is he washed? Why did he look washed? It's the same thing with Mo. Is he washed? Or why does he look washed? Two very, very, very different perspectives. I hold this one. A lot of people like to hold this one, though, because it's just easier. As we all know, humans love to make things easy. Why? Because they're fucking lazy. I'm lazy. Trust me. Yeah. Again, listen, but also to be fair to Gakpo, for as poor as his form has been, a lot of the times he doesn't have any other option other than to cut in and shoot. So while I can point at his bad performance, I'm also asking why is it so bad? First Cooks on the wing for Germany, you're right, but that's a different system. Different system. Team can carry one passenger, but both wings. See, you don't have to carry anybody if you play the right way. If you compact if you compact how the team operates in the opposition half, you don't need to carry anybody. It'll be more individual. Yes, see, you get it, Tariq. I hope I'm saying your name right. Tariq, you understand. The only thing that Luis Diaz would add to this team right now is more individual brilliance. Simple. More individual brilliance, that's all. That's all. It's the same thing that you would get if you were to get Nico Williams or Semenyo or Elise. You would just get more individual brilliance, which, when you think about it, pretty much all of our goals this season have been individual moments of brilliance. Sometimes set up by the structure of the team, i.e. Atletico Madrid, Everton. Other times, sort of just like happenstance from transition play. Bournemouth, Newcastle. Not the third goal for Newcastle, but the first two. You go back and you rewatch them, you'll understand what I'm saying. It's not about the competition on the wings, the DM or center back. A center back, I hear you. I wasn't happy with 4 center backs, but we had bolstered in so many other areas that I was like, okay. But I don't think the competition is the issue because I don't think that the players are the issue. I think the way that we're utilizing them is. Listen, there's one thing you need to know, Bob. I'm always right. Always. At least here. In this little box right here, with my stupid little duck in this fucking corner, I'm always right. My word is law. Again, it's only here with these 2 doors and this little duck. In this zone, I am the law, and I am right. Let me know if my internet's cutting in and out. Another issue I've seen is sometimes a player would pass a ball to a defender, then turn around and walk away to get into shape instead of providing an option for a pass back. Yeah. I don't disagree, but you have to ask yourself, why did they turn around and pass back? Right? So you've done an excellent job in being able to analyze and identify a problem and a pattern that you see of play. The next step would be why? The logical conclusion to that would be because the offense is so spread. Give me a second. Let me see if I can pull something up. Give me a second. 2 seconds. Yeah, here we go. This perfectly summarizes exactly what you're saying. This right here is exactly what you're talking about. You can see this exact set consistently every single game. You will see this exact moment against Manchester United. You have identified that we pass back too much. In what scenario does Curtis Jones have where the option here isn't to pass back or to dribble into trouble and have guys come towards him, to which he's either making a lateral or backwards pass? Like, you have done an excellent job, and I am now providing you a visual so you can understand why what you're saying is true. There is no scenario. I mean, look, man mark, 2-on-1. Ooh, double team. I mean, listen, his momentum is carrying him forward, but that's still a pass back, and this is a lateral pass. And either way, he's got Esteval right there. So this is what you will see consistently. There is no other option. So, like, I don't sit here and get angry at the team for passing back anymore. I'm not going to sit here and scream at my computer when I'm watching United and we go backwards for 40 minutes because I understand that after, really diving deep, they don't have another fucking choice because there's 40 yards of space in between them and where the ball needs to go. There's no triangles, there's no compactness. That's why we consistently go backwards. And that's why teams have sort of figured out that like we don't actually have to play football against you. I just gotta like make sure I have guys in the right place, and you will make a mistake because you're gonna get bored, you're gonna force something, and then I'll just hit you on the counter. And you're already so spread out that I have so much space to run into. It doesn't even matter if we have an equal amount of players because your players are so fucking spread out. Shouldn't keep trying to bang through these comments. You already said that. Fair use, complicated, whatever. Who gives a shit? I'm not even monetized. I don't know why the fuck I care. Football YouTube and gaslighting and banter actually has been spoiling football. Hot take, don't fucking watch it. Simple as that. His quote on the set pieces was so annoying. I'm sure it was. A lot of his quotes have been pissing me the fuck off. Yeah, 100%. But guess what? It was against 10 men. Whoop-de-doo. Better in duels than Gakpo, better carrier of the ball when we were under pressure. That make him better overall than Gakpo. Yes, 100%. He would be better, but again, we'd be going from a 30% to a 45%, and under a 60% is still technically an F under an academic scale. So congratulations, you just failed a little bit less hard. I am always right, at least in here. My word is law. This is my universe. I am right. If I'm wrong, by all means, present the facts of why I'm wrong, but I'm not, which is why you can't. Thank you, Duck. We try to play too vertical. 100%, 100%, 100%. Try to fucking play through the middle. Way too vertical, way too spread out. Hot dog down a hallway, vagina ball. Bro, what I just said there is wait, this is in the other corner? For me, it's here. For me, the duck is here. You're telling me it's here? That's really weird. Shiba, I'm not going at you. What I'm saying is that if you don't like the banter and stuff, you don't have to watch it. Like, just don't tune into those channels. Don't watch Never a Foul or any of the other panel shows. Those are for people who want to see conflict. If you don't want to see the conflict, you don't have to watch it. Like, you don't want to see people bantering each other, just don't. Like, again, anything I say directed towards anyone in here is not a personal grievance. I just talk aggressively. From New York. Give me a break. It's just the way I speak. Big up to you. Unwinded by my fans. Listen, everyone winds me up. Everyone. Slot last season on pressing has gone this season. Listen, Shankly, Liverpool have never been a pressing team. We have been a counter-pressing team. Those are two different statements. There is a counter press and there is a press. Teams that play Liverpool play a press because we're expected to hold possession of the ball for most of the game. It's that simple. A counter press would be, just for the sake of this argument, I'm going to pull this up just so that you can have a visual while I'm talking to you. A counter press would be if Ekitike, okay, just for the sake of argument, if Ekitike got the ball and these two guys weren't here, right? And Ekitike lost the ball. The way that Liverpool press, which is a counter press, would be Curtis Jones and him swarm. That's what Liverpool was. Our press exists in this zone, under Jurgen Klopp at least. Everything past the halfway line, after you get dispossessed, is a counter press. That's where we lived. Why? Because in all eras of my life, Liverpool, for the most part, for the last 9 years, will be the team that has more possession. Unless we're playing, prime Man City or a few other handfuls of teams in certain moments. So you have to understand the difference between a press and a counter press. When you play a possession style, you can't really press the opposition. It has to be a counter press. And the reason why the counter press is so ineffective is because of how spread apart we are in possession. So when we lose the ball, we don't actually have anyone there to press the other team taking the ball from our possession in the opposition half. When it comes to just like pressing a back line, dude, I don't want the fucking world. Just like cut passing lanes, occupy space. That's why Szoboszlai needs to play midfield. I mean, Wirtz is a decent presser. Um, but the counter press is where we need improvement, not the regular press. Because when we actually set up and like we've set up shop and we're not being hit by transition counterattacks, like we're a very solid defensive team. You know, like if a team has a sustained spell of possession against us, we're very solid. Very. Even under immense pressure, we deal with it. It's when we lose the ball in the other half and we get transitioned against. That's when we look awful, and that's where all the goals that we're conceding comes from. So it's two very different things. They both have the same root cause, but Mike has PTSD. He lashes out at even people who agree with. Listen, I lash out at everybody. It's just what I do. I like conflict. I just don't like stupid banter. Your mustache throws me off. 29. So there you go. Not 25 or 45. Yeah. Whatever. Listen, we were never like a gegenpressing team. We were a counter-pressing team. That was the gegenpress. If you ever look at our press under Jurgen Klopp and like all of those goals that we scored, more often than not, we had possession, lost it, and then countered, basically just swarmed, right? It wasn't like, you know, they're playing U-ball and we're just fucking attacking you. Yes, that happened, but that was not the bulk or even the majority of what our press was. If United beat us, we'll just be right back here talking about the same shit. And maybe Liverpool can hit me up and I can make millions of dollars, because clearly I will have diagnosed your issue. I will have been like a savant doctor who found your cancer at stage 1 without even seeing you. You didn't even enter my office, yet I was able to email you a diagnosis of what you had without even ever actually meeting you or speaking to you, but I found that tumor in your body. Call me a savant. Do I believe in Slot? It's a very difficult question. Based on his current actions over the last 10 games, no. But this weekend is the penultimate moment for me and Arne Slot. You see, our relationship, it's hit a rough patch. We're arguing all the time. We're fighting. I'm sleeping on the couch because I can't stand the fact that he snores, right? If he doesn't change this weekend, regardless of result, I don't think he ever will. And the sooner you understand that, the less it hurts. And the sooner you're able to foresee the future problems. If we play the same way we did against Chelsea, even if we win 7-0, I'll sit here and I'll be angry because I won't see a path of consistency forward. You've had 2 weeks sitting on your ass to fucking change and figure it out. You don't show me at least that you're trying, I don't think you ever will. Do you think we should move to a staggered flat midfield 3 instead of the pivot? I think that there's a billion different solutions. All of them have at least 3 in midfield. Ideally, I'd play 4 in midfield, go back to the double 10. At least for the time being, because that's the most compact, structured football I've seen from this team in the last 12 to 14 months. So, you know, if you held a gun to my head and you said, hey, you got to pick, I'd go, all right, let's do the same thing that we did against City. Now we just adverse Florian Wirtz. Yeah, you can disconnect your internet. I'll be here. I'll face it. I'll face it. Yeah, we did. We did. Hey, listen, 2-2-2-2-2. Yeah, listen, I got a better idea for you. How about we play a 1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1? How about we do that? Might be the solution. Tune in live. Guy from Los Angeles just came up with a new formation. It's called a 1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1. That's how we're going to beat United. Let me see what this slide. American Tactico. Yes, you got it. Listen, Tommy Touches. I don't need Tommy Touches as my manager. All right, Jacob has that. Jacob has Tommy Touches. I'm okay. Tommy, the choo-choo engine, can stay in London. American Tactico. I know, ball dog. Fuck with me. Sounds like a South American starting lineup. Juan. Yeah, exactly. Juan. I'm gonna pull this up. We can watch a little bit. I have it on playback speed a little bit quick because I'm neurotic, ADHD. I can't watch things in like a normal time. I need it to be faster. So this is the team news. Wait, hold on. I don't know. I don't think you'll be able to hear it. I have to stop sharing. I have to share screen. Tell me if you can hear this. You can't hear it? Fuck. How do I make it so that you can hear it? Hang on. We're going to figure this out together. Share screen. Oh, here we go. I think now. Now you should be able to hear it.
Berkeley understand has taken off.
Started his sessions again and expected to train with us today. And the third one is Allison. He's not training.
You can hear it now, right?
So, he's out.
Have you got any further indication just how long Allison could be?
Like I always say, it's so difficult to say because the end phase of
Subtitles for all the people who can't hear.
Rehab always can give you positives or negatives.
So basically, all he said was Gravenberch fit, Konate fit, Allison not fit. Thank you for the news update, Arnie Slot, for letting me know things I already did.
But he will not play in the weekend and also not next week.
Virgil has spoken again about just how difficult it is to retain the Premier League title, and possibly we saw some of that in the run prior to the international break as well. So what's your message being to the players now as you regroup, return to Premier League action in what is traditionally the biggest fixture, one of the biggest fixtures in the calendar?
No, I think what we can say is if we compare ourselves to last season, we don't create as many chances as we did last season, in the start of last season. But we are still the team that from open play creates the most XG chances, most shots on target. But
all right, he's already pissed me off. He's already fucking pissed me off. Holy shit. We are the team that has created the most XG from open play. Wow. That's like putting whipped cream on shit. Congrats, Arnie. You've got the XG SofaScore Premier League trophy. Good job. Good job. Good job. Hey, from open play, though, we create the most. We create the most. Open play. Sounds like a certain somebody. Just saying. Just saying.
we've conceded too many goals. We've conceded too many goals, that's for sure. And we've conceded 9, where 4 of them are from set pieces. That is what was and still is, by the way, a strength of us, which sounds weird if you concede 4, but that's not a reflection of the chances we've conceded in terms of set pieces. So the other 5 were 2 fast breaks and 3 from open play. I think in open play, we are conceding too many crosses. So that is one of the things where we have to address and what we have to do better. And like Virgil says, I don't know if he says this, but I think he means he implements this. He means this, that teams are facing us differently than the first half of last season. But that is also what I've said. The amount of long balls that we are facing now compared to last season, I think we're already 1/3 on the way in the amount of long balls we have to defend compared.
Okay. I agree with what he is saying. 100%. The issue is that everything that he just said about what we concede is inherently true. It is a fact-based analysis. Where we start to separate is the reason why the amount of long balls is 1/3 of what it was all of last season is because teams have actually begun to figure you out. And teams have finally understood that you guys run a 4-2-4. So all I got to do is wait for you to make a mistake and I can just play one long ball. That's it. Like the same structure that you said has created the most chances from open play is the inherently and will always consistently be the same structure that leads to you giving up that many long balls because you invite that kind of danger to you. It's a double-edged sword. I just don't think it's the right double-edged sword. And again, I think all tactics in football, they have 2 sides, right? There are 2 edges. The difference is that it doesn't have to be so drastic, right? You can be sharp in one and dull in another. You don't have to be sharp and sharp. Right now, we're sharp and sharp. We just got to dull this a little bit. We're just making this a little bit more dull. That's it. That's it. Analogy-wise. I don't disagree with what he's saying, though.
Compared to last season, after 7 games already. So we have to find answers to that, and the first answer is not to concede so many goals, because if it's harder to score your goals, the best thing you can do is make it harder for teams to score against you as well.
Well, we've also, you mentioned that obviously scoring goals, we've only seen Mo's numbers drop off because it's 5 in his last 21 appearances. Last season we saw him hit 32 in the first 41 games. Yeah, against Manchester United he scored more goals in this fixture than any other player. So is this the kind of game that maybe could reignite Mo's form once again? Or goal scoring form, I should say.
I think it should not matter who we are playing on Sunday or Saturday, but we play on Sunday. If you've lost 3 games in a row and you wear the Liverpool shirt, it doesn't matter who your opponent is, you have to react. And if there's one thing I cannot blame the players is that they give everything they have every single game. They go all in from the first till the last minute. This is what we did in the last 3 games as well. We, in both games, had to come back. In all 3 games, we had to come back from being 1-0 down. In 2 games, we were
Already called out everyone for fucking over Florian Wirtz. It's not Slot's fault. Again, I know I criticize a lot, but I've also praised aspects of this team. We have still created opportunities, even with how poor we look. Florian Wirtz should have like 5 assists. That's not on Arne Slot. That's on the players. But at the same time, I have to look at the root cause of the whole game. What you're talking about is like moments analysis, which I agree with your conclusion. We don't blame Slot for Salah missing chances that Florian Wirtz puts on a platter for him. But I can also look at Florian Wirtz and say, hey, buddy, what happened to that one-on-one against Arsenal? What happened to that one-on-one against Crystal Palace? Another double-edged sword. But these are moments, my criticisms of Slot or for the whole game, individual moments aside. I'm not going to kill you, dude. I can't. I don't even know who you are.
we managed to do so. but unfortunately lost in the end, where we were having chances in both games, maybe more than our opponent, to win it. But if you've lost 3 in a row, it doesn't matter if Man United is coming or Brentford next week. There should always be a reaction.
I'm going to skip some of these because I don't care. Like, I don't care about the rivalry between what's this? How to surprise? Okay, we'll listen to this. How to surprise teams. Burt's has to improve to not lose balls. He needs to play safe, simple passes, and he takes shot in certain situations instead of trying to improve his chance. Yeah, but also a lot of times Verts finds himself in a position where he doesn't have an option. He hasn't been perfect though, but he also hasn't been bad. Mo off form is a problem, but at the same time, we're not putting Mo in a position to succeed at this football club for the 90 minutes. In the moments, yes, Mo has been missing too many chances when he finally does find himself there. But if we look at the 90 minutes as a whole, there are way too many spells where either A, the ball is only going up the left-hand channel, or B, Mo doesn't have an overlap or an underlap. Those are what the 90-minute analysis would be. Individual moments wise, he's not being clinical enough. I agree. Fuck it. Más o menos.
You mentioned before about teams playing you in a different way this season, obviously trying to defend your championship. Have you had to, or how much have you had to sort of rethink how you set up and how you play, and how can Liverpool start to surprise teams again?
If you are the team that has created most chances from open play, you can argue if we don't surprise teams. Maybe we do things better than the last 3 results has shown. But it's also clear what I just said, that we haven't created that many chances we did last season, and there's a reason for that. That's playing style of the opponent, and we have to find answers to that. But
okay, I just disagree there. The playing style of the opponent is the reason why we're not creating as many chances. That's just a complete, I don't know if that's his PR speak, but make no mistake about it. Teams have simply figured out that you're too spread apart. Your players are too far from one another. So all I have to do is clog the lane. I don't even have to play football. I don't even have to dispossess you. You're just spread thin. All I got to do is be compact. That's it. That's it. The root cause of us not creating enough chances is the same root cause that it was last season. We're too spread apart. Go look at any of Enz's call-in shows after all of the games last season. I say the same thing every week. Why are we so spread thin? Why are we so spread thin? Why are we so spread thin? It seems like other teams finally decided to watch some fucking footage and realize I don't actually have to win a duel. I just have to clog the lane. Chelsea did it perfectly.
The first answer is not to concede so many goals as we did, because there's one way of winning a game of football to score 2 or 3 goals. But if the other team scores 1 or 2 goals, you need 3 goals, where last season we also were able to keep a clean sheet and only need 1 goal. First half of last season, we mainly got these goals from a special moment of one of our front 3. Where in the second half we mainly needed a set piece to make the difference against these low blocks. And this season we haven't had that many special moments. Special, what I mean is an act of brilliance. And we haven't scored from a set piece. If you would tell me that we've conceded 40% of our goals from set pieces, and the number 1 in the league has scored 60% of their goals from set pieces, and we're still 1 point behind that team, I would probably think that's not even that bad. But it is, of course, clear that conceding 4 is far too much.
His overindulgence in this, like, focusing on set pieces. Brother, what the fuck are we talking about here, dude? Like, dog. Bro, if we didn't have Allison, we would have conceded 4 goals from open play in the first half of Crystal Palace alone. If we didn't have Mamardashvili, we would have conceded 4 goals from open play against Chelsea alone. You would have equaled the amount of goals we've conceded this season just in open play. The goalkeeper is the only reason why that's a difference. I mean, maybe he's taking for granted the fact that he has the best goalkeeper on the planet. Maybe that's it. But this overindulgence in this set piece narrative, I'm not buying it. Because I've seen what we could have conceded this season, time and time again, from open play. At the same time, our offensive set pieces are fucking shit. I know Virgil scored against Madrid, but we're pretty ass from corners. You know, we never look dangerous from a corner. I don't think that you should ever look too deep into these things. I'm just having some fun. I'm just having a laugh essentially. But you know, it's not the manager's job to sit there and tell you everything. There's what you say in public and what you say in private. I want most of what Arne Slot to say to be in private to the team. I don't need him to tell me anything. He's my manager. I need him to show me everything. Don't tell me anything. Show me. Right? What good would it do if Arne Slot sat here and said everything you wanted to hear, and then come Sunday, did everything you didn't want to see? You'd say, hey, I love the pressers. I hate the game. You know, you just got to take it for what it is. It's PR. It's PR.
For a team that wants to compete.
And Alexander
Isak,
Right.
confidence after 3 defeats.
What effects I may have had on confidence and who you look to in the dressing room to sort of re-establish sort of normality?
No, I think these players might need me, but I don't think they need me to tell them what has happened. We've played 10 games this season, won 7, lost 3. And the 3 we've lost by very close margins, twice in the last minute, and once both teams got a penalty. Both times the VAR should have overturned that decision, but only the one we got was overturned. So the margins are small, but I keep saying we should not be dependent of that margins. Although we play Chelsea away, I think it's normal that that's an equal game because Chelsea has a very good team as well, and we were able to create more than them. So that is part of it, but results don't lie. If you lose 3 times in a row, we have to do better. But I think these players that have experienced so many things don't wake up at night thinking, wow, we've lost 3 times. We need to be aware of that. We are aware of that, and we have to react to that. But we have to give the same reaction if we win 3 times in a row and Man United is on the fixture list. So what we have to do is create habits, do everything what we usually do if we win or lose. But maybe after losing 3 times, you're hoping for that sparkle or this 1 or 2% more. Not only from us, also from our fans on Sunday.
You know, I just realized I'm watching this in 1.25 speed. I can't even imagine how slow he would be talking without that extra 0.25. He sounds perfectly clear. This dude's got to be talking like an old man. I don't disagree with anything he said there. I mean, at the end of the day, they are fine margins. At the end of the day, we did create more than Chelsea, even though we didn't look better than Chelsea. If we were more clinical, we might have been able to win that game. But it doesn't change the core root. Results are not always the full picture. Yes, this is a results-based business, so is every business, but your process defines your sustainability and your consistency. And right now, the process of which Liverpool play, it's not sustainable or consistent. It's hard on the eye. It's hard on the mind. It's not worthy of 500 million pounds worth of signings. So it talks about McAllister. They give a shit about that. I don't care about balancing consistency and rotation. I don't expect him to tell me anything there, and I don't give a fuck about Mark Cucurella's comments. Put the leash back on Gravenberch. Tell him he's one of our sixes. Tell him to focus on being a shield. I'm just reading the comments of this video. I'm looking at how stupid people are. Yeah, I don't really care about what these people are saying in the comments. Just gonna exit out of this now. Okay. Well, that concludes our viewing of Arne Slot's presser. I think that's going to conclude the stream. Listen, again, just to summarize in 2 minutes, as we went off on a little tangent there. Stop talking about transfers. Incoming. What's new. What we're going for. Enough of that. Don't revise. Don't point to players who are available on the market and say, if we had him, things would be solved. Don't look to the players that we bought and say he's not performing if you're not going to ask why. The solution to Liverpool Football Club is not to spend another £250 million. The solution to Liverpool Football Club is not to buy Nico Williams or Michael Olise or Semenyo or Schlotterbeck or Gahey. That's not the answer. You're putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound, and the bullet wound right now is your style of play. A, frontline not being clinical enough. B, Isak not getting enough touches. C, 4-2-4. D, the fact that the way that you play in possession is inviting all of this danger in the consistent manner that it is. And E, there needs to be some sort of change. That's what Liverpool fans should be focusing on. Coming into this game on Sunday, because I'm not going to stream until after the game. Coming into this game, as a Liverpool fan, all I want you to do is I want you to watch who doesn't have the ball. Just do me a favor. Wait until we have like a little sustained spell of possession. And Virgil and Konate and Gurkes and Frimpong and Mamadashvili are getting all the touches. What I want you to do is I want you to watch everyone who doesn't have the ball. Take like 5 minutes. Look at where the whole front four is. Look at how much space is in between the man with the ball and the man who needs it in front of him. Look at the positioning of the opposition midfield and the lanes they're deciding to occupy. I want you to notice how many times when Virgil has the ball, he's actually being pressed as if it's a duel and the man is trying to win the ball off of him. I want you to look at the spaces that Kirkes is asked to occupy when building up. I want you to look at the spaces where Gakpo and Salah are occupying when we're asked to build up out of the back. Every time United have an opportunity, I want you to sit there. I want you to ask yourself, what happened a minute before this? What led to this? What did the play look like? Every time we get an opportunity, I want you to ask yourself, what did the play look like a minute before this? Did we just have sustained possession? Was this a transition opportunity? Is this a counterattack? Was this a counterpress? Ask yourself all these questions. Look at the positioning. Look at the movement. Regardless of who's there, regardless of who's playing, regardless of what United are doing, just look at our players. And for the most part, don't watch the ball. Simple. I promise you, if you do that for 5 or 10 minutes, and remember, you have to pick at least one moment where we're passing back and we're holding possession. Right? Keep that in your mind. I guarantee you will understand everything that I've been talking about for the last 4 or 5 streams. It will click in your head. You will see it. You will understand. You will have seen the light. You will have read the gospel. You would say, I have heard the word. God has spoken. I understand now. I see it now. I have been baptized now. This is that epiphany that you will reach. You will see how short-sighted it is to say Mo is washed. You will see how short-sighted it is to say that Florian Wirtz can't fit in. You will see how short-sighted it is to say that Alexander Isak isn't fit. You will see how short-sighted it is to say that Milos Kerkez doesn't work in this team. You will fully understand. So that's all I'm asking you to do. Pick 10 minutes, wait for us to have a sustained spell of possession, and don't watch the ball. Watch everyone who doesn't have it. And honestly, listen, if it continues like this, maybe I'll just have to go live during a game so that people can actually understand. Obviously, I won't be able to show it, but I'll be able to sit here and narrate and say, watch him, or watch him, or watch him, or watch him, to really, it needs to compute in your head root cause, not symptom. Get away from the symptom. Don't ignore the symptoms because that's bad. But just stop hyper-focusing on the symptoms and ask yourself, what is causing this, right? If I get the shits, well, I have the shits, but I'm either sick or I ate something that's bad. Am I going to sit here and say I have the shits, or am I going to try to figure out what the fuck caused it? That's simple. Anyway, big up. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for hopping in. Thanks for hanging out. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy your Saturday. And let's hope that we can actually fucking enjoy this Sunday and see something different from Arne Slot and Liverpool. Make no mistake, I don't care how bad we're playing. I expect nothing more. I expect nothing less than a 2-goal victory. A 2-margin victory. A 2-goal margin victory. I expect nothing less. I don't need to take blood pressure medication. I don't need to sit here biting my fingernails at the 95th minute. Big up. Oh, and I'll be on Hussam's show at 11 p.m. UK. The regular Friday Hussam show. So anyway, big up. Take care. Catch you guys around.